Totally.
Well, obviously, just getting the win to win the series was, our main concern today. And I thought we did just enough. We played solid defense, and we didn't give them much. Walked them 4 times, but they walked us more than that, and they made an error. And in that inning, we ended up scoring 5 runs, and we've been good at that. If we get an extra at bat, or maybe something like that starts a rally. But good job by our offense early in the game, staying in the zone. Laying off borderline pitches early in the count, getting pitch counts up, and in some cases, getting a better pitch to hit, or even taking a walk. And when you score 5 runs in 1 inning, sometimes it's hard to overcome that if you're in the other dugout. And I think that's kind of what went on today. As far as pitching wise, I felt like Gage had really good stuff. Just wasn't locating quite the way we were hoping. Give Tennessee credit. They fouled off pitches and they worked him and got his pitch count up there. And then we had like a 30-minute inning. So we decided that we better get him. And Landon gave us 2 really good innings. The third inning, you can see by the numbers, the fastball went from 92, 93, 94 to 90. And, it just wasn't good. So I think he got us an out there and then a walk and a homer. And we had Will ready to go, and Will pitched great. Just filling up the zone with fastballs, cutters, and curveballs, and did a tremendous job because their lefty came in and shut us down pretty good there at the end. And it almost looked like both teams were getting a little tired, to be honest with you. But yeah, big win for us.
Dave, with Helfrich's grand slam, from your perspective, did you know he had got enough to get it out, and just how big of a swing was that for y'all?
So I knew the wind was lightly blowing in early. It was kind of all over the place today, and batting practice the same way, but it's warm and the ball was carrying. To answer your question, when he hit it, when it first left the bat, I wasn't sure. And then when it started going up, I said, that's going to go. Just because it's a lot of backspin on it. I mean, he crushed it straight up, 46 degrees or something like that. And yeah, but it was a little nervous because at the end, did it just barely fall over the fence? I don't know where it landed. I thought it was going to go in the green seats when it got up to the top, but I guess it came straight down. And, I don't even know the distance on it, but he hit it really hard. He just hit it up. So I guess to answer your question again, I wasn't 100% sure.
I know during the offseason, there was a lot of talk about how you're going to retool the offense, be more dynamic, but yet here we are into the regular season. You've tied the school record for home runs. Has it surprised you how much power this team has? And when did you realize that it was going to be a team like this?
We realized it in fall practice. It was, we weren't sure who was going to DH. We thought we might platoon our DH, and we could have. But Cahillo took over there and drove in 68 runs in 55 games. Pretty good job. And but really in fall baseball, we just saw what was going on with exit velocities because we look at all that, and we thought we were going to hit some home runs. You never know how many you're going to hit. I think we ended up maybe 3rd in the league or 4th, but what we did is we got on base in front of a lot of those home runs. We took walks and we hit for a higher average, and we could bunt a little bit. In the SEC play, we were like, I don't know, 11 out of 12 stolen bases going into the weekend. I don't know what we ended up with, 13, 14. We got thrown out a few times, but we just kind of take what you give us. We worked on base running a lot in the fall. Then when the season started and we were hitting like we hit, we didn't want to run ourselves out of innings, so we didn't run as much as we were thinking. But some of it had to do with injuries with guys' legs. But yeah, it's been fun watching these guys take their work from practice into the games.
Is it fair to say Cahillo is kind of the biggest difference maker, maybe in elevating you guys' ceiling this year offensively?
Well, I don't. He really helped. I mean, I wouldn't say he's the biggest because you think about it, it's kind of running streaks. It's like just like today. I got Brent Iredale hitting the 7 hole, but at the beginning of the season, he carried us for. Once we got back from Arlington for 2 or 3 weeks in there, midweek games, weekend games, non-conference. He was hammering the ball, and the ball ended up in the seats, doubles, taking his walks, and he was hitting over 400. So he was rolling, and then Kehio was nailing it too pretty good. So those two guys were kind of back to back. And then, they both had their ups and downs, but the lineup it threatens you, and you see pitchers that they start nibbling a little bit and they get in trouble. And then that's when you can hurt them. So I really didn't answer your question because I really don't know the answer.
Will was not nibbling at all today. I mean, I think he threw like 10 balls to 11 hitters total. Just how good is that to see a guy that, there's been some SEC weekends you haven't used him and then you put him against a good Tennessee lineup and he does that.
Yeah, that's probably a lot of a lot of hard work. What I mean by that is, he hadn't pitched for a while, but he just kept working, probably get more frustrated. I want to pitch. And then when he got on the mound, he just let it go. And he had to pitch fearless, and he did. And he just went at him. And, it was just great to see because we didn't know if he was going to be able to go one inning or three or a couple of hitters. And, you always got to have plan B, and we didn't have to use anything, which was great.
You mentioned it in your opening statement, your guys' ability to take advantage of some other teams' mistakes. I mean, is there any intangible, something you can point to in the makeup of the team that leads to that?
Well, I mean, we talk about, taking advantage of getting an extra at bat in an inning or, an error. But we also talk about, that's like taking a walk or an 0-2 walk where you're down 0-2 and you fight, and all of a sudden he walks you. Those are momentum changers, and take a lot of pride in that. But I don't think we talk about it and harp on it, but we seem to do a good job of taking advantage of it most of the time when it happens.
Yeah, I guess what went into the decision of moving Ryder as high as fifth these last couple games seems like he's cashed in.
Well, I thought he swung the bat really good at Florida. Thought he swung it really good at LSU. His batting practice, like I mentioned the other day, is, he's not just sitting there smoking balls out of the park to the pull side. He's hitting line drives through the middle, hitting the ball right center. And, give credit to, I think it was it Krenzel that got him a couple of times throwing that sinker. We should have moved up on him more in the box and towards the pitcher and tried to catch that sinking 93, 95 mile an hour fastball out front a little bit. But, they kind of show us. I mean, it's what we do. It's what we've been doing forever. And we've got to watch. We got to use our eyes and go with what we see. And, there's a guy who's hitting 8th, 7th, and now he's hitting 5th. And, today when I wrote the lineup, I thought about moving him, putting Kojal in front of him. And then I thought, well, we won yesterday. Not a big deal. Let's just keep it the same. And it worked out.
And I think on pregame radio, you were talking about changing to a machine as opposed to someone throwing. Is that kind of like a one series thing? Is that something you're going to take into the SEC?
We've done it before. Coach Thompson asked me yesterday before batting practice. He said, "Hey, what do you think about using our pitch machine that has a little carry on it instead of arm?" Because we always throw, because we thought it might simulate the lefty a little better, with that carry fastball and good velocity. And I said, no, that would be good. And we did it yesterday. And we thought, well, let's just do it again today. So I don't know if we did it today because we thought he had the same fastball, or if we had pitchers that our BP coaches needed a day off. I don't know, but it worked out. So, yeah.
Fisher's such a good hitter. What's your approach on him?
Yeah. Man, he's a good hitter, tough hitter. And he has a very good eye at the plate. He can hit left-handed pitchers. Even when he doesn't hit it well, he top spins it, and he's hit those singles, and he had 22 home runs. And hey, we only gave up one in 3 games. I guess that's pretty good because I think he had 3 last weekend and maybe one in the midweek. So, he's really hard to get out. You have to almost fool him a little bit, or you just have to just say, here you go. And we didn't get him out much. So I don't really know the answer to that one. He's going to be a really good pick in the draft, and he's played at 3 different schools and done really well at 3 different schools.
Tennessee does more things to delay a game and calling time. How does your dugout take that? What do y'all?
Well, what we told our guys before the series is don't worry about all this stuff. Just play and don't just play ball. And whether it's Tennessee or a West Coast school or whoever, a lot of times that goes on. They've changed some of the rules So you can't do it as much because it used to be you could call timeout all the time, or infielders could go visit pitchers and, just disrupt things, break rhythm, whatever, and try to frustrate people. But, a couple times when they took some offensive timeouts, it was 2 quick outs and they're trying to just calm down a little bit. We had a lead. They were trying to break, maybe the rhythm of the pitcher, which, hey, it's all gamesmanship. It is what it is. But our guys, we told them just, hey, whatever, whether it's that type of stuff or, no matter who you play, if they try to get you distracted somehow, don't let it happen.
I guess one more on Ryder. I mean, I guess how much is it a premium that, a catcher can hit in the lineup, in your experience, maybe in the SEC?
Yeah. I mean, it's really, a lot of times you don't see it because it's such a tough position. I kind of kidded with Ryder today before right after we stretched, and I just said, "Hey, how you feeling?" He said, "I feel great." I said, "You got to be tough to be a catcher and you got to be mean." He goes, "Yeah, I know." I said, "You're that guy, right?" He said, "Yeah." So, because I mean, they take a beating up and down and crouched, and they got to think because we let our catchers call the game. Pitcher has an option to shake them. We call in some pitches, suggestions, and you have to be a really dedicated person to your physical being. He has to get his rest. He has to eat right, and he does. But to have him hit, I mean, I think about our catchers over the last 15 years. I mean, James McCann really hit his junior year. He didn't hit as a freshman, and he started the last 25 games all the way to Omaha in 2009 as a true freshman. And then his sophomore year is better, but his junior year, he might have led our team in hitting. And that was the year 2011 that the bats were pitiful. I mean, you could have gone down to the TG&Y and bought a wood bat that was better than what we were using, and probably had a high seam baseball, and the game got real boring, and they figured it out a little bit. But James is a great catcher. I mean, one of the greatest to ever come through here, and he's done great in the big leagues, and he'll probably be a manager one day if he wants.
Hey, Dave, what's a 20-win SEC season mean to you?
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to do it. I think this is 3 years in a row. I think one of you guys brought it up last night, and I hadn't really thought about it. And then Coach said something right after the game. We were walking out to the guys. Hey, that's 23 years in a row. And I'm like, yeah, tough to do. Congratulations. It just means that you show up every weekend and you play, and you're probably pretty good. You don't make a lot of mistakes because this league will hurt you. I mean, you look at the games. Look at all the games this weekend. Teams taking leads into the ninth and giving up homer after homer, or just, it's things happen, and the players are good. So to win 20 in the toughest division or toughest league in the country, it's special to us.
Yeah, and I know this is still a week away, but I mean, do you feel like you've done enough to get home field here throughout the postseason?
Oh yeah, yeah.
What gives you that confidence?
20 wins in our league. That's probably the main thing, and that's probably the main thing.
Okay, and then one more. You lead the country in home wins this year. What's made this team so difficult to play here at Baum?
Well, we played a lot of games at home first, and then we've done really well here. I think we lost one midweek game that, give Missouri State credit, they scored 5 in the ninth to tie it, I think, or to win it. I don't remember what happened. I think to tie it, we went extra innings, and we got off to a really good start. I think in conference play against South Carolina, we won 4 opening weekend against Washington State. I just think we just had a lot of guys that if they didn't play on the weekend and we plugged them in, they played. They played well. I mean, you think of some of the guys on the team that, we got a couple guys that are hitting 300 that didn't play a lot, and they're right at it. And thinking about Bowles really, and put him in the midweek. He'd hit a double and a homer, double and a single. And then he'd look at me funny on the weekend, like, hey, how come I'm not playing? I felt bad. I even told him one day, I feel bad that I'm not playing, but those other guys just hang in there, keep doing, you're going to help us. And he did. I think against Texas, he had a 2-run homer on the opening game to give us the lead. And then we got after it the rest of the weekend. And he didn't hardly play at LSU because now, Maxwell's back. But I just feel like home games, we played well here. The crowds were good. The weather was not good at the beginning. It's been great lately. And our guys are comfortable here. I mean, and we field the ball. We don't make a lot of errors.
Dave, after the top of the third last night, you're down that you've already used Root, Gackle, and Jimenez, and that might not look good in the context of the series. Is this coming back and winning it? Is this something maybe you can lean on moving forward when the postseason arrives and stuff like that?
But I think it shows that we have guys that can get it done in the bullpen, and it doesn't always have to be the guys that have been doing it all year long. Other guys have to step up, and usually, to play for a while, you have to have maybe one guy just really come on for you, whether it's an arm or a hitter that maybe was, okay during the year, but now he's just stepped it up. There's a lot of those stories over the years of teams that play all the way to Omaha.
He obviously had the home run today, but he hit the ball really hard yesterday and today. Made another nice defensive play on the other side of second base, and a pretty nice slide on a stolen base. Just kind of, what do you make of his overall performance today and this weekend?
Today was amazing. That home run he hit gave us 5-run lead, and like you guys were talking about, we're going to start pitching guys that don't pitch a lot on the weekend, and just to kind of spread that out, I think it took the wind out of him just a little bit over there. But he smoked that ball 107 down the left field line. He hit one 107 to right center into a light breeze. Made that play up the middle, and if you just look at his whole body of work, he played shortstop. He started every game last year and he started every game this year. I've only taken him out a couple of times, midweek when I'd go, hey man, you ready to come out? And he'd always say no. And I'd say, okay, go take a break because I'm gonna put so-and-so in. We'd always kid around. And so he plays just a primo position. You have to be good to play there. And then he put up these numbers, home runs, the doubles, RBIs, scored 70 some runs. Yeah, to me, it's an MVP type. It's an MVP type 30 games and season.
Yeah, quickly, just curious what your thoughts on that balk call in the third inning.
I thought he balked. We all thought he balked in the dugout. Did you guys think he balked? Did you guys break it down at all? Do you think Tony thought he balked?
TV said he did.
Who didn't?
TV.
Said he didn't? Yeah, well, one of those guys played at Tennessee, so I'm not buying that one. No, it was different. It was different than his other moves. So if he didn't balk, it did look like he did from our side of the field. So I'm gonna have to go look at it now.
Coach, thanks for your time.
Okay.
Will, your last regular season game at Baum, just what did it mean to you to finish it out the way you did?
That was awesome. Just been here 6 years, poured everything into this place. To go out like that in the regular season was awesome, but there's still a lot of work left to do. So.
David, just tell us how you haven't pitched a whole lot on the weekends lately, and I don't think you pitched last weekend. What's been the key to staying ready and being able to come in and do what you did?
Just got to have the mentality that, your name's going to be called in any moment. Hadn't pitched the greatest this year, and there's just a load of talent in the bullpen and in the staff in general. And so you can get lost in the mix, but if you stay ready for that moment, you're always going to be ready for it.
What was working for you today? It seemed like that cutter was like really locating it, but anything else that stands out to you today?
Was locating fastball pretty well, and gotta give credit to my catcher here. Mixed it up really well, and going in and out, and just cutters, and landed a curveball, in a 0-0 count that they probably don't see. They're not going to see a lot out of me. So just getting ahead and staying ahead.
I think during Peebles at bat, maybe when he went for a break, you kind of laughed at the man. Is that the best way to handle it? Just kind of laugh it off?
Yeah. It's not the helmet's fault you're 0-2, but yeah. Yeah, you just gotta laugh it off. That's the whole thing right there. It's just mind game trying to frustrate you. So just laugh it off and keep doing what you're doing.
Landon, you changed your windup today, right? From the rest of the season, is that right? With the overhand, overhead. What went into that?
Yeah, so it's actually kind of a funny story. Obviously, kind of been on a little skid these past couple weeks. Haven't been in here talking to you guys very much. And it's funny, I actually saw a video of like Jack Leiter talking, and he said 75% of Hall of Famers go over the head. And I thought, oh, I want to be a Hall of Famer. So, but in all seriousness, I tried it and it felt smooth. It felt like kind of everything synced up. So, we're kind of creatures that need adjustments to maybe get a little more confidence. So I took it out to the mound and worked for me somewhat.
Guess it's a timing thing right there, like doing that, adding that to the windup.
Yeah, if anything, it's something else to think about. Like, kind of gets your mind off the mechanics that actually matter, and you're thinking about something that actually doesn't affect your delivery at all. So,
And last one for me, Ryder. Did you think that ball was out when you first did it?
I knew I got it. I didn't know how high it was going to be or not, if it was going to be able to get out, but just glad it went over. So.
Yeah, Landon, for you, I mean, how do you feel like you paced yourself today? Is it different than coming out of the bullpen from your previous starts? Or
yeah, I mean, it was definitely tough. I got warmed up a couple of times last night, so maybe wasn't as fresh as could be, but I got the chance to go in the game, and I wasn't gonna try to pace myself. I really wanted to leave everything on the line, and I knew that if I got one of the guys in the bullpen a chance to win the game, that they would go do it. And happened to be Will McIntyre today. So.
And Ryder, for you, I mean, you've been bumped up to 5th the past few games. Is that something that you recognize? Is that something that gives you extra motivation?
I mean, yeah, I recognize it, but it's just still the same thing, just taking quality at bats and trying to move it on the next guy, pass the stick down the lineup and just keep it going. I think that's all of our approach this year, just quality at bats and just keep it moving. So.
Ryder, what was your perspective of Will's stuff tonight?
It was just attacking. I think attacking with all 4 pitches that he has. He's known for throwing his cutter, but not just having a cutter, just being able to throw the fastball over the plate and then dropping a curveball, like he said, just keeping the hitters off time, and then when we need it, throw the cutter if needed. So.
Will, you've been here for 2/3 of all the 20-win SEC seasons at Arkansas. I wonder what's been the key as you've sat through this to sustaining that.
It's just embracing adversity. You're gonna hit tough times. You're gonna lose series, but you can't lose sight of the fact that you got more in front of you. So lose a series, move on. Sweep a series, move on. You never stay in the past. You always got to look to the future.
Is that something that, I mean, as you obviously being older, that you're able to impart on the younger guys as you're going through this stretch here where you lost 4 of the 5 series?
Maybe a little bit. I feel like this team doesn't really panic, especially when we get down in a game. This team's able to, if we're down early, we're going to hit our way out of it. So, no panic is always a big deal, because if you panic, frustration kicks in, and then you might not have a sense of, or you're going to have too much urgency and not, swing at a pitch that you need to swing at and swing at stuff that you don't need to swing at. And then, this team also makes pitches and does all the right things.
Hey, for Will and Ryder, because you've been there in Hoover this year, the format changes. What do you think about this, where you won't play more than 3 games? It feels a lot different than when you've gone there in the past.
I mean, for me, last year we went 0-2, so we didn't play more than 3 anyways. But I think this year we need to just go in and just play hard and try to win the whole thing. I think that's always the goal, is to win. And if we had to play 7, I would want to play 7. So.
Yeah, it's going to be different not having a double elimination right away. So go out there with a sense of urgency and just play tough baseball.
Ryder, coach has been in here saying that, the first time he noticed you kind of turning a quarter offensively was better BP. Just did you notice that as well, or did you change the way you take BP?
I'd say just trying to hit everything the same, hard, flat, the other way. I guess, I don't know, maybe my BP got better, but making some swings after the Ole Miss series and trying to make the adjustment through there with my stance and a mindset, I think helped a lot too. So.
Ryder, you guys tied a school record today with 109 home runs as a team. First off, just how cool is it to hear that? And then Dave said he kind of sensed that power was there in the fall. I mean, could you guys as a team sense early in the fall like you had a chance to be a lot better maybe than any of us thought you might be offensively?
Yeah, I think it goes back to the first outing that Gabe Gackel had. We took him yard 3 times, and it's it's not just somebody who's up there throwing 90, 91. It was like 97, and it wasn't really phasing us, I think. And I think that was good for us to see. I think we all knew it, and just being confident in ourselves, that's cool, but it's not really the end of the goal. So.
Yeah, that's good stuff. See you.